On the 14th of July, 1789, the Bastille was stormed. Its destruction was seen by many as the beginning of the end of the ancient regime. Things were not looking good for France's leader, King Louis XVI.
Yes, but I don't know them. I know the nobles, I know the church. When you talk about the poor, you might as well be talking about fairyland. Yeah, go the revolution! And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. And Ridley Scott, if you're watching, we just saw your new Napoleon movie. If you've got any stuff left over, could you send it over to me? Your worst stuff is our best stuff. I'm Brian Pilchard, and I love history. Using my skills in effects, clothes, and disguises, I'm going to take you on a journey back in time for an adventure in super history! 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 History!
It's the 26th of August, 1789, and the National Assembly approves and publishes the Declaration of the Rights of Man, a declaration which was started on the 9th of July and had 20 drafts.
Bum bastards bollocks! I thought they'd at least go for the 19th draft.
It stated that sovereignty belongs to the people. At this point, the king plays along with the revolution. France is well on its way to having a constitutional monarchy.
I suppose it's not that important anyway.
One of the key supporters was Maximilien Robespierre.
Oh yeah, it's Robespierre! I put the gur in swinger, baby!
One of the things he pushed for was more freedom of press, which was heavily censored under the old regime.
That ain't my bag, baby!
With more freedom, more publicity came to journalist Jean-Paul Marat and his newspaper on current affairs.
Yes, the newspaper's called Friend of the People, and one of the main topics is horrible violence.
In late September 1789, the Flanders Regiment are ordered to reinforce the royal bodyguard in Versailles, just outside Paris, where the king lived. Away from the commoners, they are welcomed with a formal banquet. The banquet is described in the press as a gluttonous affair.
That's a goon balloon! Who's up for a bit of footy? Now have a look what I found! Bloody rubbish! Oh, I don't know if you should be doing... Oh, yeah. It's kind of funny, isn't it? I suppose it's not that important anyway.
This news does not fare well
Tyrant!
with the people of France,
Dingus!
suffering from food shortages
Micro brain!
and fed up with how long everything is taking.
So, you're gonna help us out with our video on King Louis. Oh, King Louis? Doobie-doo, I wanna be like you. Oh, no, the French king.
I didn't realise he was a historical figure.
So you're gonna gather thousands of images, put them together, and give us a picture of what the average French Revolution noble would have looked like.
Yeah, and I've got plenty of time to do it now because I got fired. Turns out AI's come for my job. How do you compete with that? Because I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen like maybe something like 100 YouTube videos and like 40 movies, but AI's seen like thousands. And they wanted me to do something because that new Napoleon film's coming out. They wanted me to do something on Napoleon. And here's what I whipped up. Here's what AI whipped up. It's not even fair. AI's already seen the new Napoleon film. I haven't even seen the trailer. How am I meant to compete with that, with this, when all I've seen is about, and it's a lot, I'll admit, but about 50 films. I don't know what I'm meant to do with that. Yeah, I'm more than happy to help out with this.
Well, we'd better let you get to it, and good luck. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. We've also got a Patreon if you'd like to help us produce these videos. Also, you can help us produce them by buying our merchandise. You can also support the channel by sharing these videos with everyone you've ever met. Back to the history.
The Banquet inspired the October March. It was started by a group of women who worked in the fish market, but it grew to a group of thousands. It started on the 5th of October, and by the 6th of October, the march had resulted in the palace being stormed, the guards being massacred, the flower stores being taken, and the king and queen being marched back to Paris with their guards' heads on spikes. The king and queen were now prisoners of Paris.
Well, I suppose a change is as good as a holiday.
The mob was in charge. Step by step, King Louis's powers were diminished.
Yes, I suppose you can. Wasn't really that important anyway.
Punishments from the old regime were abolished, and an execution method that was used equally on everyone was devised, where the victim's head was cut off by a falling blade. It was invented by Dr. Guillotine, and he named it the guillotine. Others called it the national razor.
It's fast, efficient, convenient, and even painless.
Robespierre was not in favour.
That ain't my bag, baby.
The first person to be executed by the guillotine was a highwayman.
Oh, I always knew I'd make it into the history books.
By the 20th of June, 1791, it became too much.
It is time for us to go. We must lead a rebellion from outside the country. Don your best disguises. Here we go. Right, okay.
The king and his family intended to travel to Montmédy, a French town on the border. They were stopped at Varennes.
Hello, I'm a travelling merchant.
Yeah, mate, we know it's you.
Yeah, I suppose I could have put a bit more effort into the disguise.
Now everyone knew that the king did not support the revolution. At this point, King Louis was still a figurehead, but the people wanted that to change. On the 17th of July, 1791, a crowd gathered at Camp de Mars. It ended when Lafayette fired into the crowd.
Oh, they loved me in America.
This added support to the radicals who wanted to see King Louis removed from office, and fast.
You shut your mouth, you bastard.
French aristocrats flee to the surrounding countries, which don't like the sound of the revolution. On April 20th, 1792, France declares war against Austria. Robespierre does not approve.
I choose love, baby.
The French revolutionaries suspect Marie Antoinette is telling her Austrian relatives troop movements.
Basic bitch.
In July 1792, Prussia joins Austria against the French, and on the 25th, the Duke of Brunswick writes a letter to the revolutionaries.
Ah, yes, I know how to deal with these rapscallions. Write them a letter, black ink. If you harm the king or queen, I will destroy Paris.
On the 10th of August, thousands of Paris people go to the king's palace. They fight the loyal Swiss Guard.
It's confusing, I know, because we look like British redcoats.
Oh no, not these creeps with the weird hats.
Between both of the sides, there are almost 1,000 casualties.
Whoops!
Brunswick then wins the First Battle of Verdun, fought on the 29th of August to the 2nd of September. This only adds to the French people's problems, another of which is that their prisons are full, combined with suggestions of getting rid of the internal enemy. The September massacres start, where over 1,000 people considered against the revolution were killed.
You know, I'm actually quite lucky to be decapitated by the guillotine. I've heard it's fast, efficient, and even painless. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
The Legislative Assembly, led by Robespierre, vote the monarchy out entirely. King Louis is now just Louis and was held in a jail cell.
My balls!
Listen, baby, I don't care if he's a fat bastard. You don't give a man a shot in the pills. It's just not cricket.
On September 22, 1792, the National Convention declares themselves the French Republic.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean?
On the 20th of September, the French beat the Prussians at the Battle of Valmy.
Whoops!
On December the 3rd, the trial of Citizen Louis commenced.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to do very well at this trial. Ooh, lighten up, Mr. Grumpy. You've still got a trial. You've still got a chance.
He was sentenced to the guillotine.
I am innocent of everything anyone has said about me. And... oh, it's okay. It wasn't really that important anyway. Okay, just get nice and comfortable. The bench isn't too hard, is it? Oh, yeah, it's all right. I said they should have put a cushion in the design. Why won't you die, you fat bastard? Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
You know, seeing Louis die really made me feel better.
So, you've been in the lab, you've compiled all the data, and you've created the image of the average French Revolution noble.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. I'm actually happy I lost my job, because that way I could actually get this done. If I hadn't lost the job, I don't think this would have been possible.
And you told me you used photogrammetry in the process.
It just took so much effort, so much time. And I actually had to get 2 screens for this. I had a screen, I was working on 1 screen. Now, I had to work on 2, because I had the reference images on 1 screen, and I had what I was doing on the other. And it wouldn't have been possible otherwise. Just tons of work.
I think it's time to show us all what you've been up to.
Well, what you've been waiting for, the human element, here it is.
Oh, wow! That's amazing.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Really? It's my best work yet. You know, Dad used to always tell me, especially when I lost my job, he used to say, "There's not a man alive who can out-photogrammetry my son." But now he's saying, "There's not an AI alive that can out-photogrammetry my son." Because look at that. Look at that. The human element.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. And to our patrons, thank you for helping us produce these videos. We've also got a merchandise shop if you want to help us through that too. Thanks for watching. That was a tough one. Oi! History boy! Oh, Stu, you're still alive. I just saw your video on King Louis and it was bloody shit. Good to see you recovered from that dog attack. You failed to mention the sans-culottes, which translates to without breeches. See? Pants! They were members from the lower class who became radical supporters of the revolution. I think I called the ambulance just in time. You also didn't mention Paul Barras, who became one of Maximilien Robespierre's biggest opponents. Ah, good t-shirt. And you didn't mention the influence that Marat had on the violence in the revolution through his newspaper, Friend of the People. I've got to go. We'll talk later. You didn't explain universal suffrage for men, one man, one vote, and then the women got in on the action. And you didn't make the poor people poor enough and the rich people rich enough. Absolutely shoddy. You should be ashamed of yourself. Hide your head in shame.